Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're taking a look at another Studio Constructicon. This time around we have Mixmaster. Now, Mixmaster was a character in the Generation 1 version of Devastator, whereas in that continuity he formed the left leg and was described as a genius chemist, as he was able to mix anything into his mixing drum and come up with whatever substances the Decepticons required. The movie version here is also described as being a genius chemist. It's just unfortunately we really didn't get to see him in action with that. And that is a bit of a disappointment. Mixmaster, of course, here is a bit of a wonky character to put on his stand since he's got so much figure to spread out with. We'll slide him aside so we can take a look at his backdrop, which is depicting the pyramids of Egypt. I think this is basically the same backdrop that they used on all of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but since I was filming these guys all in one weekend, it's starting to look alike. Anyway, let's get that out of here. And we'll bring the master back in. Mixmaster, of course, does have a fair amount of articulation going for him. His head can be turned from side to side, and it can look up and down. It's also on a bit of a positionable neck, so he does have quite a range of motion for his head. The sides of his arms can stretch out about so far. And of course the arms rotate at this shoulder all the way around. They also bend at the elbow about 90 degrees. And they do have a 360 degree swivel. So that would give him some G.I. Joe battle grip. His legs can be spread apart into a full splits, and they do rotate. His legs can also be rotated at the thighs. His legs can raise up about 180 degrees, and he can bend his knee about 90 degrees. And he also does have a positionable ankle. So all in all, Mixmaster does have quite a range of motion going for him. Now, loose parts wise, the first things to point out are these upper tanks here on his shoulders. Those sections are removed if you happen to buy the toy new. I'm not going to remove them for you for the purposes of this video, because they were a pain to get attached when I bought them, and I am not looking forward to trying to force that back in. The only other loose part that Mixmaster has is, of course, the hood of the truck, which attaches and detaches to conceal the head of Devastator. At any rate, this will allow you to get a good look at the piece. And you also want to make sure that your Devastator has all of these lower jaws here, since apparently there were quite a few of them that were released without it, which will mean your Devastator will need some dentures to make him look complete. Now, transforming Mixmaster is a bit of a pain, because he is quite a challenge to get ready. The first thing we would have to do is have him in the right way to begin with. These tanks should have been up, but at any rate, we start by folding them down. Then we also take these pieces here at the bottom of his chest, and we're going to rotate them upwards, like so. We stretch out the top of his shoulders and fold out the caps at the end of them. Because we're also going to start to adjust his lower arms. Because we're going to bring the wheels up and snap them into place. Right in there. Just exactly like that. And of course we got to turn him around to the back side so that we can adjust the mixing drum pieces. So this is where it gets tricky. So we got to get them so that they're folded outward and then fold up his claws at the end of his hand. So that they brush up against the back end. Trying to keep him staying straight up while we work with him is also a chore. Once we got that up, then you will basically try to work together getting the mixing drums connected. Excuse me while I try to repair him. Okay, I managed to fix him. Basically, what we were doing wrong is the lower portion here has to get the post in here, into this narrow gap in the shoulder. Then once you've got that secured, then the top portion will connect. So let's straighten it out on this side. Like that. And then with that secured, we can bring down the upper portion. Just exactly like that. And they want us to turn them so they're upside down. And we grab Mixmaster at his hips because we're going to extend his legs downward. Like that. Then, of course, once his legs are extended, his legs can be connected together. And then we bring up the truck cab from his back to cover his head. Next, we're going to have to pick him up because we got to fold his feet up. And we come down here, and these supports on his arm get rotated up to form smokestacks. And then the arms, you bring over one at a time and connect them all up against the back of the body, against the side of his legs. Excuse me. There is a series of posts along the side of the legs you'll need to line up. Like this post up here connects to this hole here. This trapezoid shaped one here in the middle of the leg connects right under the cement mixer. And then there's two along the ankle that connect back here to the back of the leg, to the back of the arm. And then, of course, when you're bringing the second unit over, You've also got to allow room to connect in the mixing drum as well. So it is a bit of a fight to get many of them to line up. And line up just right. Be gentle when you're merging the mixing drum together, because it will pop apart on you if you are not careful. But once it's done, there you have it. He transforms into a Mack Granite cement mixer truck. And it is even a licensed product from Mack. Just a shame with the way the mixing drum is set up, it will not turn. Or as some fans have complained, it doesn't have the Decepticon symbol on it. But all in all, it doesn't look too bad. Now to get him to form the head, first thing we got to do is we got to remove the front of the truck. And it'd be nice if that would be all we have to do. But I'm only kidding myself. Next we got to come and detach all this that we had together with the arms. Everything's got to detach and fold outward to the side. Just like that. That way it gives us a little bit of room to work. We come up here to the front of the truck and we're going to fold down the smokestacks like so. And we're going to raise up the windscreen and we're going to fold out a couple of pieces here. And of course we've also got to fold out Devastator's head a little bit because we've got pieces to fold out to form the side of his face. Then we bring down the truck cab and then we can fold back the head so that the whole face connects to the front. This is almost reminding me of that truck from Maximum Overdrive. Alright, then we come here to the sides and you fold the claws down. Separate the upper portions of the mixing drum and fold in the extra pieces. Then we're going to take the lower pieces of the drum, extend them out, and fold them outwards. Because the upper portions are just going to fold in behind them, like so. Then we come around back and we'll bring the smokestacks back up. Then we come underneath, rotate these little arms down. Then we get it Mixmaster to do a splits and bend him back at the hip to restore his legs to the original size. Let me double check things. Alright, and then now I'm going to fold the hip section down a bit like so. Kind of bend the legs downward to keep them out of our way. Then we start bringing over the arms, and this time they're going to connect to this lower hole onto the side of the body, just like that. And you're going to do the same with the other side and connect everything together. Not just down here at the body end, but also the upper portion of the mixing drum should also attach together. You should feel everything kind of snap together. And of course, once that's all done, we're going to fold up the feet. And the feet are going to fold in so that they go in between the back two tires. Then, once that is done, you'll take the front piece of the truck, and it should attach onto the back with the posts connecting into these holes on the back of the drum. No problem, he says. Well, they say it connects, but it's just getting in the way for me and just fighting me, so I'm going to leave it off. Nothing says I have to put it on there. But at any rate, here's the head unit for Devastator. Rather ugly, isn't he, folks? But at any rate, we get down to my thoughts. I'm glad they re-included Mixmaster, since he's kind of synonymous with Devastator. As a G1 fan, Mixmaster was also my first Constructicon, so I was anxious to get this version. And all in all, it isn't too bad. I think it could have stood from a better design to make it easier to store, because unfortunately, with the way the shoulders are, you can't necessarily keep the plastic bubble, or you're going to wear out the connection joints. So, unfortunately, this one's a bit of a pain to store in the original box. But overall, the transformation method, it isn't too bad. It just takes a little time to work with it. But I do like the fact that it's also one of the few vehicles in the studio line to be an officially licensed product. At any rate, that concludes my review of the studio version of Mixmaster. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and join our ranks. Make sure to ring the bell so you'll be notified when we post new content. We also ask that you share this video with your friends and fellow collectors. That helps this channel grow. And also leave your thoughts about Mixmaster in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I'll catch you all later.